Hello, Different911 here. So today I've got a few more updates from Microsoft about their upcoming brand new Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now this video is going to be quite raw, I'm not going to have much editing to it. I am going to be working off a script as well because a lot of people have taken umbrage to the fact that I tend to go a lot in my videos when I try to riff off the top of my head. So I'm going to be working off a script today. Anyway, on with the video. Since their initial release trailer a few months ago, the team have been very busy and been putting out regular updates weekly to the community. So this video will basically be a summary of what they've announced so far. So if you want to read all of these updates in full, I'll put a link in the description below. The link anyway is www.flightsimulator.com. I'm just going to kind of gloss over a lot of these announcements and pick out the key pieces of them, so if you want to read them in full yourself, please do so. So, on the 1st of July, I've got a script and I'm still messing up. So on the 1st of, So first up, on the 11th of July, the team released a new screenshot along with some information about when and how they're going to make future updates. So they were also making reassurances that the team are closely monitoring feedback within major flight sim social networks such as the AvSim forums and Reddit and places like that. And now remember that back in July we didn't really know a whole lot about the simulator, so a lot of the initial questions that people have been asking are slowly being answered with all of these announcements, so just keep watching. As for the screenshot itself, it looks like it's the instrument panel from the Robin DR400. Now, unfortunately, it does only have a narrow kind of area of focus here. You can see it's only the sort of the middle third of the screen. It's not barely even a third of the screen actually that's properly in focus. But what is in focus does seem to suggest that we'll be getting highly detailed interiors with 3D instruments as well. Microsoft did mention in the 11th of July announcement that this is a work in progress screenshot, so the final product may look a little different. But if we have a look here, you can see that we've got some shadowing within the instrument. You can see here that the pitch plate on the attitude indicator is clearly set behind the roll markers there as well, so it looks like we will be getting 3D instruments, which is pretty nice and pretty cool there. So let's see, their next update was on the 25th of July, which features a short video flying over some clouds and looking down over Barcelona. Now, I'll try and play this. For some reason, my browser doesn't really like playing this video. It's only a 3-second clip anyway, but you can see it's not having a good time there. In this announcement, the team begin referring to their development roadmap and highlight a few key things which will be announced at different stages of the roadmap, such as in-sim content, third-party content updates, and more information about the preview build program. In its announcement, they also say that September is a month that they're really going to start providing detail about how the team plan to get from these initial announcements to releasing the product, and we'll see that in a few announcements a little bit later on in the video. After that, they take a few posts from social media platforms and answer them directly, so I don't think this video is going to work. Is it? Is it going to work? No, it's not going to work. Anyway, so you can see that so they've got a few updates about what they're going to do and when. And then at the bottom here, they've got a few posts. So let's see. Yes, and now this one is the one that really caught my attention. So someone jokingly said on the AvSim forums, I want to pay for it in unmarked, non-sequential and low denomination bills, etc, etc. However, Microsoft's response was very interesting. They jokingly kind of play back and say, once you've made the drop, do this and that. However, they say, at 1:06 a.m, text no subscription. Await further instruction. Now, maybe I'm reading too much into this, but is that Microsoft potentially hinting that Microsoft Flight Simulator will not be a subscription-based program, a subscription-based software? Again, I might be reading too much into that. I'm not sure. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, they round off this announcement here by specifically thanking an AvSim moderator, 118 Alpha Hotel Charlie. Your effort and contributions do not go unnoticed. Thank you. I don't know you myself, but keep up good work. So, moving on. we have the 8th of August. So they have a little bit of information about the development roadmap, but essentially it's an announcement about when they're going to make more announcements. That said, the second half of this announcement is quite significant, and it concerns Dovetail Games. So we'll just zip down here. So this was an announcement by Microsoft. In 2014, Microsoft entered into an agreement allowing Dovetail Games to bring Flight Simulator X to Steam. Today, we are announcing that we've reached the end of our partnership agreement. We would like to take this opportunity to express our sincere appreciation to Dovetail Games for the partnership they provided over the past 5 years. Going forward, Microsoft will take over support of Flight Simulator X, and we look forward to sharing our next steps with the community in the very near future. Paul Jackson, CEO of Dovetail, adds, "We are incredibly proud to have looked after this fantastic flight sim during the last 5 years, and we will continue publishing existing and new add-ons for FSX Steam Edition on Steam. This change will not impact your game experience or impact existing or future add-ons purchased from Steam," from Microsoft. Very interesting. So Microsoft have taken back ownership of FSX by the sounds of things. So Microsoft then further announced in this announcement here, "The return of Microsoft Flight Simulator X is an important step in embracing our accountability and responsibility to those who have come before us, and to those who continue to value and invest in the Microsoft Flight Simulator X experience." Interesting. "That passion, investment, and appreciation must be recognized and reflected in our commitment to carry the Microsoft Flight Simulator franchise into the next generation. We are not building on, but building from the product and history that is Microsoft Flight Simulator X. Today, with a bit of bittersweet sentiment, we say welcome home to an old friend. More on our FSX plans coming soon." Very, very interesting. So this is very intriguing. Microsoft appear to be acknowledging that FSX is still a significant product for many customers and flight simulator enthusiasts, and they clearly have more plans for FSX when they say more on our FSX plans coming soon. Now, I'm trying to rack my brain, or when I was reading through this, I was trying to rack my brain, and I'm not sure what they're going to do with it. Do you think that they're just going to release updates which makes FSX more compatible with modern hardware? Do you think that they're going to do a similar move with Lockheed Martin and Prepared and try and recover some of the flight sim codes that the Prepared team have been working on? It's a very interesting move from Microsoft, and especially maybe some of my, because I know that I've got an older demographic who are very devout and stick with Microsoft 2004 and FSX. What do you guys and girls think will happen with FSX specifically? Do you think that they're going to continue to update it and improve it? Do you think that they're going to somehow try and convert you to the new Microsoft Flight Simulator? It'd be interesting to hear what people's opinions are surrounding this move from Microsoft. I'm doing that again. Let's see. The next update was released on the 15th of August, and it basically announces that the Insider program has been opened up. So this means that customers who signed up will be able to receive announcements before the general public. They can also interact more directly with the development team and gain access to some perks such as early access to screenshots and videos, and possibly early access to development builds of the simulator itself. Excuse me, burping. Insiders will also be able to fill out surveys and give the development team an idea of what features customers would like to see, what range of computing hardware customers have, and take this information, and the developers will take this information and develop the software further. So, to the general public, it was a very brief announcement. However, for the insiders, there's actually a more comprehensive announcement that we'll see shortly in a few minutes, but an announcement that was released to the insiders was quite comprehensive. On the 15th of August, we got a whole development roadmap update, whereas the general public don't see it until the end of August, but you're going to see it in a couple of minutes here. Let's go through my script. Okay, next up, on the 22nd of August, another announcement which mainly addresses contact with third parties, which they plan to do in October. Here they indicate that they have 3 phases for third party interaction, such as outreach and engagement, which I assume is Microsoft contacting third party developers and saying, hey, do you want to join in on what we're trying to do here? After that is the code and content integration, which I guess is Microsoft sharing the simulator's code and programming and offering demonstrations on how third parties can develop add-ons to quote unquote talk with the simulator. Then they have phase 3, which is a content release timeline, which I guess gives third parties an idea of when Microsoft will allow third parties to begin releasing add-ons for the simulator. Now, there's the 22nd of August announcement also mentions some new screenshots in the Insider program for people to view. And finally, there's a little joke. If a tree falls on a sloped runway but there is no one there to see it, is the runway still sloped? Answer: we hope so, because we've got curved/sloped runways in the next iteration of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Tick. Done. Next. Okay. And now, the last announcement that was made on the 29th of August includes the release of the Microsoft Flight Simulator development roadmap. Excuse me. This gives a little more detail of what information is going to be released and when. So a couple of key takeaways from this is that in early September, the team look like they're going to start recruiting insiders to preview an alpha build of the software, which is highlighted in yellow here. So you've got build program, or September the 12th, build program, tech alpha, external recruitment. Let's see. To recover feedback from the customers who will take part in this alpha build preview, they'll also be setting up a feedback pipeline, which will probably be some online forums or surveys that alpha build users will be required to fill out and give feedback on. At the end of September, they will also announce their feature discovery series, where they will start talking about some of the key features of the simulator in more detail, which I suspect will be an insightful look into the development of the sim with some key personnel from the team explaining their job and how they've developed specific areas of the simulator. Looking ahead to October, that's when episode 1 of the feature series is planned to be released, with the first episode being about the world and environment. So hopefully we're going to find out lots of detail about how they've managed to make everything look so good. There's also a reference here to Tech Alpha number 2, so I suspect that there will be a second round of alpha build users being recruited. There's going to be some more general roadmap updates. Their feedback pipeline will also be made available, and there's also a partner feature announcement series planned for October. Microsoft, please call me. And that's about it. That's pretty much all of the announcements for the past couple of months. So the key takeaways that I've got from this: the Microsoft Flight Sim team are doing really well with releasing regular updates. They're approximately every 1 to 2 weeks at the moment, so they're doing really good there. Microsoft have reclaimed ownership of Flight Simulator X, FSX, from Dovetail Games. And again, I'd really like to hear your thoughts and your opinions and ideas of this. What do you think Microsoft's plans are with FSX? What they're going to do with it? I think that's a very interesting thing to discover, along with what they're going to do with this new flight sim. So really interested to see what they do with that. Excuse me. Microsoft will definitely be interacting with third-party companies and looking to integrate third-party add-ons into the new simulator. So again, that's very promising. That matches up with what Microsoft have said initially, that they really want to involve the community and involve third-party developers. And it looks like towards the end of August, throughout September, that's when they're going to be doing their phase 1 of this third-party kind of mini project, where they're going to be looking to integrate their software with third parties, which is fantastic. Fourth key takeaway is that early access to alpha builds will begin in September. So no idea if we're going to actually see any sim content from creators or people who have early access to the simulator. Excuse me. I don't know if people who do get early access to the sim excuse me, I don't know if they're going to be required to fill out a non-disclosure agreement, therefore meaning that they probably won't be able to publicize any recording or any media that they recover from or that they record from the early alpha builds of The Sims. So we'll just have to wait and see. We don't know anything yet, but I guess we'll, as always, we'll find out in due course. And then I'm also looking forward. The fifth key takeaway that I've put down here is at the start of October, we're going to start finding out a bit more about the features of the simulator. So we're going to start learning a bit more detail about how they've built the world, what the weather is going to be like, what the aerodynamics. So I guess in the physics within the sim, how that's going to work, and how the cockpit environment is going to work. So there's we'll hopefully see a lot more detail about that. Also within this development roadmap, they do have these DR updates. So as we go through the year, a DR update, they'll fill out what they're going to do in September, October, November, September. Update coming. Oh, sorry, update coming is losing my mind here. What they're going to do in November, December, and obviously over the next, the upcoming months, and what steps they're going to take to ultimately release Microsoft Flight Simulators. So there you go. Hopefully this video, as I said, it was very raw, very rough. I've tried to do everything in one go. Hopefully I've given you some valuable information and some good insight as to what's happening with Microsoft Flight Simulator, and hopefully this will drum up some more interest and excitement around it. And please do let me know what you think about some of these announcements. Are you looking forward to hearing a bit more about the simulator? The FSX thing, again, is a pretty big deal, I think, for a lot of customers who still use FSX. So let me know what you think. And if you want to see more videos like this, if you want to see me cover all of the announcements throughout September, at the end of September, please let me know and I'll be more than happy to do that. Anyway, that's about it. So until the next time, thank you all very much for watching. Take care out there, and I'll catch you all later.